Hello and welcome, Megamaniacs. It's another episode of Genesis Does, and this week, what Nintendon't is Streets of Rage, the first in a classic trilogy of video games exclusively for Sega Genesis and the Mega Drive. Let's take a look at the back. Axel, Adam, and Blaze, ex-cops, the solution to punk pollution. This is the ultimate in street combat. 40 individual attacks, jabs, headbutts, and overhead kicks. On the streets, it's only two of them against scum. It's for one or two players. It's copyright 1991. And this is a tragic episode because I've lost the cartridge. I've never been able to find it. I've searched high and low through my collection. I never had the manual, but now apparently I don't have the cartridge either. So this case for Streets of Rage is bereft of the game. I'm heartbroken about it. I need a cartridge to fill that spot. But in the meantime, I can still play it in emulation, which is what I intend to do anyway. So here we go. As the opening credits of the game roll, I'll give you a few factoids about this particular title. In Japan, it was called, and I apologize if I butcher this pronunciation, Beanakaru Ikure no Tekken, which translates to Bare Knuckle Furious Iron Fist. And as mentioned, this game came out in 1991, but that was not the only time it came out. It was ported to the Wii Virtual Console. It was also made available via the Sega Classics lineup on iOS devices like iPhone and iPad, and it was part of the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection in 2009 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. So, we have three playable characters in this first installment of Streets of Rage. Let's introduce them all right now. We start with Adam Hunter. He's an ex-cop, his hobby is bonsai, his ability is boxing. Blaze Fielding, she loves lambada and judo. Then of course there's Axel Stone, video games and martial arts. I probably relate to him the most in terms of character traits. So here we see all three ex-cops standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder, back to back, ready to face these streets of rage. The gameplay itself is your classic side-scrolling beat-em-up action. If you know the Simpsons arcade game, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the arcade game, or X-Men, so on and so forth, any of those games you would stand around in an arcade with a few of your friends in the 90s, it's that type of game. You're moving from one side of the screen to the other, dispatching enemies. You can also call in a little squad support from one of your cop friends. He fires a rocket launcher and blazes enemies around you if you have too many on the screen to deal with at once. But that's why two-player co-op is sort of encouraged in this game, because player 2 can join in the fun and help you clear out some of these enemies. You can play it solo, but playing it duo is definitely encouraged. It even has an arcade flashing icon at the top. Press 2 up start. So just like a classic arcade game, you can drop a coin in at any time. You can join the action at any time if you have a player 2 there with you and a controller for them to use. Now let's get into a few more factoids about the game. Here's something you should know about Streets of Rage if you didn't see it in the opening credits. The composer of the music for this game was Yuzo Koshiro, who is considered a progenitor of video game soundtracks, a pioneering chiptune artist. He's done so many games outside of and beyond Streets of Rage. He's known for Revenge of Shinobi, Dragon Slayer, the Wise series of role-playing games, capital Y, small s. His contributions to the genre of video game music are justifiably highly recognized. That's why Streets of Rage is considered a classic, aside from the fun to be had in the side-scrolling arcade action. It's also just beautiful to listen to while you're playing. Items in the playfield are destructible, like these telephone boxes you see up here. You can break them, and sometimes they'll give you weapons, sometimes they'll give you food for extra health. I'm calling in my cop friend for a little backup here, and boom, let's take those enemies out. After they're gone, I can break some stuff open, get some items. Yep, here we go. This will help out a little. You can pick up weapons just like Double Dragon 2 and other such side-scrolling beat-em-up games. In fact, I get a very Double Dragon feel from the Streets of Rage series in general. I know I always say this series is called Genesis Does What Nintendon't, but in this case that literally only means there are no Streets of Rage ports for Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, nothing until it came out on the Wii's Virtual Console. You can't play it on anything up until that point when it came out for Wii and Xbox 360, but you can play a lot of games like it. It's a classic genre, so of course there would be multiple variations of it. In fact, if you saw the Jalico Brawlers pack that I did a little while ago on this channel, there's definitely similarities to that series as well. I really like using a weapon in this game. Just getting to swing at multiple enemies and knock them back and take them out is always a blast. But at the same time, the variety of moves that the game mentioned on the back cover is not understated. You can do almost what I would consider to be pro wrestling moves in this game. You can flip over somebody's head and then throw them with your legs. Basically, you can toss people around like a luchador. It's great. The variety of things that you can accomplish, again, very Double Dragon-esque. Headbutts, kicks, flying kicks, suplexes, you can do it all. I love this game. I love this series. The art style is definitely distinctive too. Look at all the neon signs flashing in the background. It's not what I would call parallax because we're seeing one full screen instead of multiple layers moving at different speeds, but it doesn't need to be parallax. It's just gorgeous to look at as is. And now it's time for a boss fight. Appropriately enough, the enemy is like twice the size of you to really put over the fact that you're fighting a big baddie. Now, he moves faster than you, which is part of the problem here, but also he's got this boomerang weapon, which he loves to whip out across the screen. Sometimes, though, you can time it and hit him while it's moving and then avoid it as it's coming back, which is what I just did there with some success. And I think I'm probably going to not have enough health to finish this boss. I might lose a life in the process, but we'll see. I've got him pretty close to dead. We'll see who dies first. Me or you, buddy? It's me or you. Come on. Oh, it's me. But I'll take him out with one more hit. See what I mean about suplexing and jumping over people's heads and backflips? You can get really creative with your attacks here. Oh, damn, sorry, I'm getting depressed that I can't find the cartridge for this game. It really bothers me. I love Streets of Rage. I'm happy I can still share it with you on Genesis Does, but damn, it just ticks me off that I don't know where that cartridge is and I'm probably going to have to buy it again. This is Mr. MegaManFan thanking you for watching. I'll see you again next time.